All right, let's forget the traditional server room. Today in this explainer, we're going to rapidly demystify the absolute core components of cloud architecture.
My name is Hector Wong, and I profess ICS at Leeward Community College. My office is located at the Waianae Moku Satellite Campus. Come visit.
Let's get right into it. Section 1, the cloud infrastructure shift. The contrast between the old way of doing IT and the new way is honestly pretty stark. Historically, you face this painfully slow, massive upfront cash outlay for physical servers. You were buying a machine, waiting weeks for delivery, racking it, and then manually installing the OS. It was a whole ordeal. Now, modern cloud computing lets you completely bypass all of that. You just push a button and boom, you instantly deploy highly efficient applications literally anywhere in the world. It's a total game changer. Moving on to Section 2, public versus private clouds. So organizations generally face two primary paths here. You can swallow those high upfront costs in exchange for the absolute total control of a private data center. In that scenario, that dedicated equipment is yours alone. Or, on the flip side, you can take the external route. That means leveraging the zero initial investment, shared resources of public providers. Think giants like Amazon, Rackspace, or Microsoft. Really, it just boils down to a fundamental choice. Do you want to own and maintain the equipment yourself? Or are you cool with a pay-as-you-go model using someone else's infrastructure?
Okay, Section 3, the as-a-service models.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. We categorize the delivery methods of these cloud deployments using what we call a shared responsibility matrix. It's basically a sliding scale where the burden shifts depending on the specific model. First up, with infrastructure as a service, or IaaS, you're simply renting the bare-bones hardware from the provider, but you still manage the rest, including your operating system. Stepping up from that, platform as a service, or PaaS, totally removes OS maintenance from your plate. It hands you the pure tools to build your apps, much like the development platform you'd find on Salesforce. And finally, software as a service, or SaaS. This is the whole package, a fully managed, ready-to-use product, like Google Mail, where the provider handles absolutely everything for you. Which brings us to Section 4, core cloud characteristics. A massive, absolute core advantage of the cloud is elasticity, and this is what drives complete financial efficiency. Picture this. As your user load spikes, your infrastructure instantly scales up to handle that heavy traffic. Then it automatically scales right back down when things quiet down. So instead of paying to keep idle servers running in the background, you're paying only for exactly what you need, right in that very moment. Cloud providers also manage to maintain massive technological and cost efficiencies through something called multi-tenancy. Think of it kind of like a giant apartment building. It means multiple different tenants are effectively living in the very same public cloud infrastructure, operating simultaneously across the same CPUs and storage drives. But don't worry, behind the scenes, there are incredibly strict security protocols keeping everyone's data perfectly isolated and safe. Another really critical feature here is high availability, which is driven by file synchronization. Basically, providers are constantly duplicating your data across multiple global data centers. This invisible synchronization creates just incredible uptime. Seriously, if one data center's drive array completely fails, the cloud seamlessly shifts your load elsewhere. You, and more importantly, your customers, won't ever notice a single blip. Finally, we absolutely have to talk about how you're actually billed for all this amazing power. Metered utilization tracks exactly how much you use, charging a specific cost per byte for ingress, uploads into the cloud, and usually a different cost for egress, downloads coming out of it. On the other hand, non-metered services charge a flat, fixed monthly rate for a specific block of resources, say a strict 2 gigabyte block of storage, and that stays the same regardless of your daily activity. So as you evaluate your own IT infrastructure needs, I want you to ask yourself, how can we leverage these specific cloud characteristics? Considering your unique workload, your budget, and of course, your security requirements, which cloud deployment model is actually the right fit for your organization? By mastering these fundamental concepts, you literally have the power to maximize your agility on demand. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I'm going to leave you with a quick challenge. Look closely at the apps you use every single day and try to figure out exactly what kind of cloud they live in.
Let's see who turned in some work.